Hi, my name's Daniel Cotterill. I'm from GoAuto Media and I'm here to test drive the CFMEU's Ute, just to see how it's been going for them, how it's stood up to the rigours of the building site, and being thrashed around the countryside selling you guys merchandise for the last few years. Just find the clutch pickup point, which sounds like it's been feels like it's been well used. They're in pretty good condition. They're just not a brand that I've ever heard of, and given that I would have put on the car. These come originally with a 18-inch Bridgestone tyre, which back in the day was horrifically expensive. Like when this car was new, they would have been in the vicinity of $650 a corner. These days, you get the right deal, you can get them for $300 a corner, and it's money well spent when you've got a car that goes as hard as this does and handles as well as this does, or could potentially handle. It's false economy not spending your money on the tyres. They're really, when it all comes down to it, the only things in contact with the road. So my suggestion, if you've got a car like this, see what the manufacturer put on it to start with and go at least that when it comes to replacing the tyres. So this is a little bit of the urban crawl in around the back streets of Carlton here, in a fairly heavy 6.2 litre 6-speed ute. Of course, we're not getting any further than third gear here. Up and down crawl around. Feels pretty well used, but still working quite nicely. Gear shift's nice and short, and once you get a feel for the clutch, it's picking up a little higher than I'm usually comfortable with in the travel, but still working well. Good hill starts, and it's pretty easy to drive smoothly. It's the sort of car that's really not designed for this sort of work, but handles it okay. This is where you can use a bit of V8 power to merge on your own terms. It's a fantastic car. A few Ks on it or not, a bit beaten up from building sites or not, this old bus knows exactly what it's doing. The acceleration in third gear up that on-ramp was just fantastic. That was a pretty good first introduction. We just got to put some fuel in the beast and check the oil. We've got a gauge that's flashing when it shouldn't be. High performance Aussie V8. Gets to drink 98 octane fuel. So we've pulled in to get some fuel. It's all going pretty well, but we've got a red light coming on that shouldn't be. So we're just going to have a quick look under the bonnet and see how much oil's in this old beast. See what we got going on here. Well, that'd explain it. It looks like it could use an oil change as much as some extra oil, but I think we'll just put a little bit in it for now to be on the safe side. So we need a litre of oil. A little bit stuck for choice here. They're a bit particular about what they take, those 6.2 litre V8s, but thankfully we've got exactly what Mr. Walkinshaw is asking for on the oil cap. Mobil 1 5W30. We'll put a litre of that in and see if that stops that red light coming on. It's right back on the mark where it needs to be, and as you can see, even a little bit over, the new oil's changed the colour. It should hopefully keep that red light from coming on and make the rest of this drive quite enjoyable without doing any damage to the car. So when you pop the bonnet of a car, aside from first having a look at the general condition, and as we've already covered, the boys at the CFMEU aren't big on engine washing, the thing to look at is the compliance plate or the build plate. Now, given this is a Holden special vehicle, their own build plate is out here, right on the front where you can see it. Tells you the month and year it was made by them, so this is a 12th 2009 model. This is an earlier VE, Phantom Black. Pretty reasonable and original car. They haven't fiddled with it at all, and as we found earlier in the drive, it goes quite well. If you come around, you see all the standard things for a HSV. It's got great big AP 6-spot front calipers on it, and good discs that seem in pretty good nick, so being a manual car, it looks like the brakes haven't copped too much of a hiding. There's been the odd little parking experience though. There's a bit of gutter rash on the wheel, and you see here a bit of a bulge. Clancy apparently did that. Tyres are in good nick. Not a brand I'd have thought to put on this car, but we'll try them out a bit later and see how we go. Surprisingly, given this car's life on a building site, they're in pretty good nick. Rear brakes, again, APs, big 4-spotters on the back, just what it needs. You've got the most noticeable piece of HSV styling is the extra fairing they put on the back and the hard lid, and it's a bit polarising. People either love it or they don't. I have to say this one looks better than most with the sign writing. often when they're just a flat colour, they make it look a little bit like a cockroach. You come around, you can see the Walkinshaw enhancements, the exhaust pipe tips there are good, 317 kilowatts, and I'm telling you, this old girl's got every one of those. Not in bad nick, really, for its life on a building site. Pretty good, honest, 6.2 litre manual R8 Malibu Ute. Well, Malibu Ute, she's not an R8. There you go. Oh, it is an R8. You've got a motoring rider that doesn't know what he's talking about. There you go. Anyway, we might give it away now and go for a bit more of a drive. So you wouldn't believe it, just 1 litre of oil, even at service station prices, that was outrageous. I thought it was $30, but still, it's transformed this car. It's not knocking and rattling at idle anymore. It still wants an oil change, so we'll make sure that that's noted down for the boys when we get back, and maybe they'll go to a service place that can wash the engine as well. But to me, it's just a salutary reminder, a car like this, you've really got to stay on top of the oil condition. But anyway, I'm pleased we stopped and done that, and now we're heading, as I say, we're heading out the freeway to see what it's like there.